Hey y'all, it's several weeks since we made our pumpkin puree, and today we're gonna make, it's horrible on my glasses, sorry. We're gonna make our pumpkin pie for Thanksgiving, but things were so crazy at my mom's and I just didn't get a chance to film it, so I am going to film it for you all now. We eat pumpkin pie all year long. It's one of the favorites. Apple, cherry, and pumpkin. Those are the three pies that we make at our house the most often. And so I'm going to turn y'all around and I'm gonna show you how I make our pie. Alright, so first we're going to measure out our pumpkin puree, and my recipe calls for 1.5 cups. So I defrost this in cold water in the sink, and so we're just going to put that in there. And so we're going to push the air out. So that's 1 cup. And when I made these in the bags, I put between 1.5 cups and 2 cups in each bag, because I know that's what my recipe calls for. So that is 1.5 cups. And so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to mix this into the mixing bowl. And then we're going to start with our dry ingredients. And I use 1/2 cup of white sugar. And I use the sugar right here. You could use regular sugar, but use 1/2 cup of white sugar, 3/4 cup of brown sugar, and this is the brown sugar that I use. I'm diabetic, and so I'm supposed to kind of watch what I use, so I try to be a good girl sometimes. That doesn't always work. So there's my brown sugar. And then it calls for 1/2 teaspoon of ginger. And I like to be real generous with my, so 1/2 teaspoon of ginger, a full teaspoon of cinnamon, a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, oh, it's smelling so good in here already. So this is 1/2 teaspoon. I'm just going to fill that. And then 1.5 teaspoons of pumpkin pie spice. I just get one great big heaping of that, and then 1/2 of this. And then it calls for 2 beaten eggs. And then 1/2 cup of heavy whipping cream, and 1/4 cup of milk, or 3/4 cup of half and half or light cream. Sorry guys, my battery died, so you just missed me putting in the 1/4 cup of milk. And this is half a cup of heavy whipping cream. And now I'm going to break my eggs in there. And these are eggs from our chickens that we hatched out of the incubator. I'll put an iCard up to that video. Two eggs, and now I'm going to take it over on my KitchenAid stand mixer and let it blend it all together. So there it all is. We're going to turn this on, it'll be loud. I'm just going to let it blend up all together. And I'm going to turn our oven on to be preheating. I'm going to turn our oven on so we can start to preheat. Helpful tip when you're going to preheat your oven. Make sure there's nothing in it. Alright, so we've got it all mixed up. I'm going to take the paddle off of my mixer. And this is what it looks like once it's all mixed up. So now we're going to take it over and we're going to pour it into our 9-inch deep pie crust. So today I'm cheating and I'm using a store-bought pie crust because I'm lazy and I didn't feel like making a homemade pie crust. This is a deep dish 9-inch pie crust I just got at Walmart. We're going to pour this pumpkin pie in there, and then I'm going to put, I'll show you my little secret that I use to keep from burning my crust. Oh, and we are running over. Alright, so I actually ended up having enough for 1.5 pies. Well, 2 pies. This one's just going to be, it's going to be more crusty. I'm sorry, the crust is all busted up. This is the one that was on the bottom. It came in a 2-pack. And so this one is filled most of the way up. I don't like to fill mine too full because when it expands it runs over, and I always bake my pies on one of these sheets, so if it does run over it doesn't get on the oven. And now I'm going to show you what I use to keep the crust from burning. So this right here, I love these. Typically I find them at Walmart around holiday season, and so I normally buy an insane amount of them. You can reuse them, but sometimes they just get beat up or the pie sticks to the inside of them and they're really hard to wash. So yes, it's like $4 for 3 of them, but you know what? To me it's worth it. You can use aluminum foil, but sometimes I'm inherently lazy when it comes to that kind of stuff. And so all of our foil is out in the back with our grill, and I don't want to go outside, it's cold. So I just buy these and keep them into my cabinet with my pie stuff. And so the instructions for this is we're going to bake it at 375 for 25 minutes. And I cover the crust for this part. And then after 25 minutes, I will remove this. And then you will cook until when you insert something in the center, either a toothpick or a butter knife, and it comes out clean. That's when you know it's done. And then you can let it cool and serve it with Cool Whip. Most of the time, it takes this pie at least 60 minutes, sometimes 75 minutes to cook and be finished. So it takes a long time for this pie to cook. And I've tried to cook it at higher temperatures to make it faster, and it just does not turn out as good. For some reason, 375 is the magic number for this pie. I don't know if it's because of all the fresh ingredients. Typically, when I make it, I will use our own fresh cream, our own milk, eggs from our chicken, you know. It'll be everything except for the spices, and the sugars will be all from the farm. And so, but now that we're living in town, we don't have milk goats, we don't have a milk cow, and so nowhere around here really sells that I found that's local. And so right now we're stuck with using store-bought, but hopefully soon some things can fall into place, and maybe by this time next year I can make a new video and I can show you the cow and the goat that the things come from. Anyway, off that tangent. I'm going to open these up and I'm going to put them on the pie, and then I'm going to put the pies in the oven, and we'll come back when the pies are done. Alright, so if you get these and they're too big, like this one is, this is what I do. It's not real pretty, but I just fold it over. I'll just find a section of this and I'll flatten it like this. And I don't know if I can do it one-handed, especially since that's my left hand. And then I'll just take it like this, and then I just bend it, and it won't affect the pie at all. And see, now it fits. So you can adjust the size to those. So now we're going to put them in the oven, and I'll come back when we're done. So here's our pies fresh out of the oven, and I already sampled a little bit, and they are really good.